Do you see this chocolate cake? This is amazing. And I don't even really like chocolate. I can't put this down. If you want to make this decadent, rich, moist chocolate pound cake, keep watching. Wow. Start with 3 sticks of butter. These sticks of butter are room temperature, so they are ready to mix. We're going to cream them really, really well. And to our butter, we're going to add sugar. This is really the guts of a pound cake, the butter and the sugar. Let's get these two together, get the relationship going. Now we're going to start adding our eggs, but you want to add the eggs one at a time to make sure each one is incorporated before you add the next one. All right, let's get going. We've got some eggs to add. Now that our eggs are basically incorporated, we're just going to go back, scrape around the sides. Like I said, make sure you got every bit of goodness in there. And now we're going to let this whip for a little bit to really just come together into a nice fluffy, a fluffy cake hood. All right, that looks good. Nice light yellow and fluffy. This cake is already on its way to being a winner. All right, now let's add into this our cocoa powder. And we're going to use quite a bit of cocoa powder because we really want to get the chocolate flavor in this cake, all right? So I'm going to start by sprinkling this portion in and start mixing slowly because you don't want to mess everywhere. Okay. And I'm going to add the rest like so. I'm going to take my spatula just to make sure and just start to turn it over a little bit because I really don't want a powdery mess. Now that our cocoa powder is mixed in here, we're going to start with our flour and liquids. So this is our cake flour. In here is also a little bit of salt, a pinch of salt. If you use unsalted butter, add it. If you use salted butter, don't add any salt. This is a little bit of baking powder because that's going to help our cake have a nice rise, and a little smidge of baking soda. Don't worry, it's all in the recipe. And here we've got a cup of buttermilk. And to this cup of buttermilk, we're going to add a 1/4 cup of espresso. There we go. Now espresso or any coffee, but especially espresso does, the oven's ready. Coffee does wonders for the flavor of chocolate. So that's what we're going to put in as our little secret ingredient. Oh, that looks so good. And a little vanilla. You know, a little goes a long way. This is homemade vanilla. There's a video on that. You can watch it. All right, so we're going to start mixing the cake and the cake flour and the liquids in, alternating as we go. Here we go. Okay, now before I do the final mix, I want to just go ahead and scrape these sides down. You don't want to overmix it too early or you'll develop too much gluten and your cake will be just a little too firm. You actually want a cake to have a nice soft crumb to it. All right, I'm going to mix it now one more time so everything is all together and friendly and one big happy chocolate pound cake family. And there we have it. Oh, this looks amazing. Well, I'm gonna take this off and save it for a kid. My kids love cake batter. Here's our pan. I have sprayed it very well with cooking spray. Okay, so you can do the shortening and flour, but look, they make baker's joy for a reason. So who am I to overdo it when there's no need to? Okay. Oh, that looks good. Make sure you go at the bottom and stir around just so there's nothing stuck, okay? If you get any little extras here. Oh my God. Oh my God. All right, give her a shake and a shimmy. Every girl needs a shake and a shimmy. into the oven at 350 degrees for about an hour. See you then. Now let's make some chocolate ganache to go on that cake when it comes out. I'm going to start here with 2 cups of chocolate, and actually I put in here some salted caramel chips as well because I like caramel, and I'm hoping to kind of not make it too chocolatey. And this is scalding milk, well, heavy cream, but you can use any kind. You can use heavy cream, you can use milk, or you can use half and half. You're going to pour it over the chips, okay, like so. And then just make sure the chips are all covered, and that cream is going to melt those chips. And once it starts to melt, we're going to go in and just whisk it around until it gets smooth, and then we'll be ready to glaze it on our cake. All right, I'm going to start mixing it together. It's going to look at first like it's never going to work, but it is. I like to start with the fork just because it makes it easier for me. And then once the chocolate is melted, for the most part, I'll switch over to a whisk. Okay, let's check this consistency. Oh yeah, I'm gonna whisk a little bit more just so all those last bits of chocolate can melt. If you want it to be thicker, you can add more chocolate. If you want it to be thinner, you can add more cream. Just know though, however it is at this point, once it sits, it's going to firm up a little bit. Now that that's mixed up good, I'm gonna add about a teaspoon of salt in here because I like the salted caramel type taste, and it actually does wonders for the ganache to just have a little bit of salt in there. Oh, it looks so good. Look how nice and luscious that looks. See that? All right, and I'll put a little smidge of vanilla, just a smidge. Don't want to mess up that wonderful consistency we've achieved. Now all we got to do is wait for our cake to finish up, let it cool a little bit, and we can ganache it and go.